Oh wow, that actually went on live now. Okay, welcome back to the Console Corner, episode 9. Uh, my name is Tech or Daniel, I guess for everybody else, because everybody calls me by my first name. Today we have a new guest, porcelain law. If you would like to introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name's Allie. I go by Porcelain Girl all over the internet, and I'm a writer and singer and a freelance editor, and I love to help create worlds to play around in.
Yeah,
And really anxious and happy for the new Eurovision that's coming up. Um, and I don't know. That's pretty much it. I'm not very.
no. Hey, no worries. It's kind of tough, tough when you're just like, oh hey, hi world, how's it going? Yeah, that's me. When I first started this, I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. You know, like I hit a button, suddenly the stream goes off. I did this. So it's one of those things. I guess you can say, since it's a constant corner, doing live streaming is a bit of a concept itself because you're trying to figure out what to do and how to set up things and develop a process. So one of the main things you learn to start doing is figure out how to be, I guess, more personal with people, and then and also to a crowd. Uh, and most of the time, there's no crowd for a while. For a while, as in my general experiences with live streaming, sometimes you'll start off with nobody here, then you'll or sometimes you'll have everybody here, and it's like so. While I'm doing that, I'm also over here like, oh hey guys, by the way, I'm streaming. Like, you didn't know I was streaming? Yeah, here I'm streaming. Which I kindly forgot to do because I'm a freaking idiot. And then so I'm gonna put that out there now and see if anybody takes a bite. But the concept corner.
This panel almost looks like it could very easily be steampunk.
The idea actually it's actually set in a. This is kind of a dream, and the idea is that it's set in a Victorian era. Um,
That's probably why it looks steampunk.
yeah, yeah, and then so if you give me like a minute, I because I'm trying to post this thing everywhere. Like, hey guys, I'm here, I'm alive. What? No. It's like I should have done that earlier and I didn't. Like, oh hey guys, I'm gonna be here live and in charge, or live, because I'm not so tall. Because I'm not tall. And then it just sucks that we can't play music because copyright strikes rules.
Yeah, I mean, there must be something in like YouTube's YouTube
Algorithms.
Creators Library or something.
Well, they do have a library, but it's a lot of weird stuff, and then and I need to figure out how to stream it all, connect it all together because I don't have any equipment for that. Mm, excuse me. So I didn't. Okay. Actually, I think I should fix some. I don't know if I feel I need to. I should move down the. Okay, because we look here. This should actually be where your the line represents like your the horizontal line uh, represents the plane that your eyes are seeing. So when you see straight, this line should be where the center of your vision is. So that this layout is actually a little bit off because it's not centered to the rest of the to the rest of the picture. So that's something I gotta fix. Hey me. Like, oh hey, I noticed my screw up.
Did you take art classes, or were you just naturally sort of born with a talent that you
Uh,
practiced yourself and got better and better?
no, I know. I mean, I was like everybody else up until like age 10 when I started really doing comic book stuff and what have you. And then just kind of started taking courses where I could about it. I do have my associates in graphic design, so there's that. Um, and which I have, which I haven't leveraged for anything because it's like as soon as I got out of college, basically everything I knew was obsolete. I'm like, oh, well, that's great. Well, not doing that again.
That
Yeah,
that's a rough one. You're like, well, I know how to do this. It's like, no, we're not doing that anymore. Nah. Do you
yeah, I
have
know. This is
do you have
like,
15 experience of this? It came out 2 years ago.
yeah, so quite so often, and like, yeah, it's like a computer. That's what some degree. That's what I'm learning was some degrees, depending on what it is. Is like as soon as you learn it, as soon as you step out, as soon as you step out of college, everything you know is obsolete. Like, great, that's great. Yeah. So with this program, this particular program is also great because this we do stuff and add little effects here and there that I could put in later. So my only problem I was having was trying to figure out how to do a dream sequence like she's waking up, and that was what I was having.
Do you draw on a tablet?
Yes,
Yeah, I got it.
pin tablet, yeah. And so yeah, because I don't see anybody. I've never heard of anybody using a mouse and get clean lines of any kind. I mean, there's probably somebody out there, but I haven't heard of it. It's just like,
Well, I was kind of wondered if you drew, some of it on not hopefully not paper, but some who draw some of it in one medium and then scan it into the computer to or put it onto the computer
I
to.
I still do physical mediums. Uh, but I don't have a scanner for it. I don't have a big enough scanner because usually everything is 11 by 17. Uh, 11 width, 17 height,
Hmm.
and then so I don't have a scanner big enough for that. Better, I don't have a scanner at all because the freaking printer I had just to go went kaput. Like, oh, that's great. Yeah, but at the same time, this allows me to put stuff down. If I make a mistake, I can undo it faster, quicker, get it done. Lay out stuff more, uh, different stuff at a time without having to waste a bunch of paper in the process.
Yeah, I mean it seems to, like, as I'm looking at it, I can see the different layers that it's gone through, and it seems to have been um, it's a very intensive process.
Hmm. Yeah, it usually takes a while because you're just having to design new stuff here and there, and then try to figure out layouts and what have you. Because this is, I've made it to the point where I guess I don't really need a script. Um, better yet, the panel work is my script. So I'm more of since I'm so much of a visual storyteller, I've gotten to the point where it's just I can just write it on a script. The script, the you write it on the script. The art is the script. I guess
What
you can.
what is the art at the bottom of that page?
Which one?
The one that you have up right now. Oh, well, I'm looking at it through StreamYard, but it's like um I think the girl is anticipating like something coming towards her, and then at the end, I think she's knocked backwards.
No, she's being. It's a part of the mystery. It's the idea is that this world is kind of inhabited by like superheroes, aliens, magic, what have you. So this character is a detective. There is a character that's a detective. You saw her in the first couple pages. This is like say I guess victim number 200 and something. Yeah, and so she's being grabbed, and so there's smoke. So at the bottom there's supposed to be smoke. So the idea is like everything is there's smoke coming out of the alley.
And those are her feet.
Yeah,
No, they just look kind of
yeah, it's her
odd.
feet. I'm well, this like I said, most of well, as I pointed out to Lorenzo, most of this is a initial draft, so there may be some changes. And because I was thinking of doing it differently and have it more like kind of like a shadow panel, and you just see her you see her like a hand disappear. Only her hand, you can only see her hand. She's like disappearing into the shadow, that kind of a thing.
Well,
So
I liked it. I just couldn't because I'm not, I don't have a. I mean, maybe I
oh,
should.
hey Lorenzo, you know what? I sent you the link. Is it not working for you, dude? Uh, yeah, no, sorry. I apologize. What were you gonna say?
Oh no, I mean I like the look. I just couldn't see because it was rather small on my screen. Are you now on YouTube? What's the um
Hmm?
what's the YouTube link?
Oh, let me find the YouTube link. Let's see here. What on earth? Uh, Copy. Giving it to you. So that's the YouTube link.
Did you send it? Oh, that okay. I see it.
Okay, I'm gonna send this back to Lorenzo because apparently it didn't work. Hang on. This is huh. But yeah. So basically, the idea was it was gonna be Shadow.
I just I don't know. I think that like both work. I just happen to like the cuter option because that's what I generally go for.
Well, I mean, it's just no one sees anything. So I mean, so it stuff just happens, and and so it's kind of to keep that mystery going, and so it's I put in a little bit more more city and sunset stuff, mainly because I really haven't done too much, and so I figured, hey, let me go ahead and try and add some more. This is actually from this is the third time I started this story. Well, the second time the first time because the first time I was more or less rushing it too much.
Yeah, pacing. Ow! I just poked myself in my eye. Yeah, pacing is.
Discord, sir. Or let me go ahead and send it to you on Twitter then. He's on Twitter more often than here. Yeah, sorry. No, yeah. But so the because the first version of it was kind of rushing to like to say kind of trying to rush to the end. And this one I decided to take it more slower. So instead of introducing all the principal players in one go, it's just slowly getting to where I needed to be. So um, So you're right now you're being the goal is to this chapter is presented to present you with the mystery and a little bit of and you get a little bit more of the back of the villain. And so you're being introduced to quite a bit of the characters. Uh, uh, and I have fun trying to find a motorcycle I wanted to use. So it's actually I think it was a French motorcycle. It's Triumph. Triumph. So yeah, I'm being facetious about that. And then yeah, it's a detective story, and it's dealing with a wax museum, actually. So I was having a little bit of fun with it, and and it's like I named it Madame Trish's Wax Museum Waxworks because I couldn't think too much of it, too much else.
If I think of a name, I'll let you know. Um, because that's my mom's name, and it feels weird having her be having a wax museum.
well, Trisha belongs to another person I know. Um, and because she was because when I was doing the not we made it me and Lorenzo have a joke called "Not Safe for Wookiees," which really means not safe for work. So when you see me, okay, when you hear us say "not safe for Wookiees," that's what we mean, not safe for work. And so I usually do not safe for work for a site, and Trish is the name of one of the other writers slash artists, 3D artists. So that's where I got Trish from because I couldn't think of anything else.
Hey, Loresno.
Lorenzo.
Yeah, but you spelled it Loresno.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he'll come he'll come tell me something when he gets a chance.
Um,
Just give him a bit.
Now, my question that I
Mm-hmm.
like random thought.
Mm-hmm.
If you hear the McDonald's thing where they go like "I'm loving it" or something like that, in Spanish it's "me encanta,"
Yeah.
but the syllables are all wrong because you can't say "me encanta." It's like it doesn't.
Yeah, I know.
So
Me
how do they like
encanta.
no the how do they sing it in Spanish?
I. That's a good question. I, I Well, I did take choir and all that. Most of my singing is in English, so it's kind of hard. Because some enunciations are kind of weird. So what they probably did is they got uh, an American actress to sing in Spanish, or an American singer to sing in Spanish. So, but the thing is it just depends on where the and if it is someone from a Latin country, it just depends on where they get it from because the syllable could be different, and so that's why it's kind of hard for me to go. This is how they say it because I say it one way and then they say one way and they're said another way. Um, Me encanta. I like. Yeah, me encanta.
Yeah, so like I'm just thinking about it because it's confusing, but I just thought of it. I'm like, how would they put that to that same music? Like, I'm loving it, me encanta. I guess I'd have to put that little.
Yeah, you have to. You probably have to pause a bit and then
That's
yeah. So
probably.
So in
Nice.
these pages, so in these next couple pages, she's kind of noticing that a lot of the statues look like missing the missing women that have been missing for a while, and she's kind of like noticing that, well, that person is this person, that person missing since October 1997 or something crazy like that. The idea here is that even though it's the present day, we still it's still bit has a bit of an 80s anime feel to it. That was the aesthetic I was going for, but so I need to work on it some more. The only thing is just I was doing whatever I can or doing whatever I like with stuff.
Yeah, I can see the aesthetic you were going for. That works. Um,
Yeah, so you can see it was the hair.
yeah, definitely. I always preferred like longer hairstyles, but obviously that works on some 80s characters. But I think a lot of
Yeah,
80s
the
styles
because
were the shorter for some reason.
yeah, I mean you're getting it's like was this you're seeing one of I guess one villain you can see in plain sight, the other one you can't see. So just kind of setting up stuff here and there, and just like, ooh, I wonder who this dude is. And so most of it is going to be in shadow. But I'm debating on her hair if I should keep it long or I should make it shorter. Since everyone seems to have a pixie haircut,
Yeah,
almost.
it's good for for having uh diversity in some respects.
Hmm. Well, yeah. I mean, because like, let me see. Let me go back here. Let me give you a better shot here.
Looks
Uh,
like she has a ponytail.
she has. Let me pull up her design. Pull up the designs for you. So that's one. Oh no. I guess it didn't make one. So that's one. This is one of the supporting characters. Katie Lightfoot.
What's her name?
Katie Lightfoot.
Katie Lightfoot.
Lightfoot. Because I am terrible with names, but I still figure it works. Well, Katie is short for Catherine. So those are the two main. Those are this is a main character and this is a supporting character.
Her name is Sherry
Hello.
Howlett.
Yeah. It's a play on another name, and so I'm wondering if everybody's gonna pick it up.
I remember one time back when I lived in Oregon, I was my girlfriend and I were walking past a
Hmm.
Hooters, and I said Hooters, and I looked at my own chest, and I'm like, mine aren't even owls; they're owlets. And so I became a sort of a cute nickname for me for a while.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah.
so yeah, that was it. Was just, I mean, they're good for my size, but I mean, they're just like they're not like in your face or anything like that. So
Yeah. Are you coming in, Lorenzo? Yeah. No. I don't know. It's just So I'm trying to get. So I'm trying to get it across that they're being they're friends and they've been friends forever, I guess. And then so just trying new ideas and what have you. And then so just it's kind of been of a slow start, and I think I'm having issues. Yeah, well, I'm not sure what to say, dude. Like I would have more people than people in the stream than the chat. Everyone else will come in. If you built it, they will come. I think I said it right. It's been forever since I've seen that movie. Yeah, like I said, it just sucks that we can't put music because this would be a little bit easier with music going on in the background because there wouldn't be any dead air in between, I guess. So let's see here. So I'm trying to remember my count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know, this is probably easier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I'm 16 pages in. Yeah, I realized that the page count is off in the program because for whatever reason it didn't decide to go from because it's set up to give me a back cover, which is kind of nice, and then it lets me do an inside cover. Um, you know how some mangas have kind of like an introduction page.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. So I figured, yeah, that works too. And then and so I figured it was gonna give me all of that, and then it's gonna start at 1, and then it just decides to start it at 3. So we'd get annoyed. Which is funny because it also has a back cover on at the far end of the. I just don't know if I'm gonna be able to fill 52 pages like that, or 50 pages. Because well, think about it. It shouldn't take. Ugh.
How many pages are you going for? And is this just one chapter, or I mean,
This
or
is this. Well, this is one chapter. The idea is that it's an ongoing comic, and but the idea is to have it set up so that so if there's a demand for a physical release, I can easily make it a physical release. And um, so right now I'm looking at a lot of the indie comic stuff that has been going on, and so um, uh, and so a lot of books have been 48 pages, 62 pages. I think I saw another one that was 150 pages or something to that effect. Uh, and so I'm going, okay, I need to have a decent number because I think because you have to go because because comics are back and front, so you gotta take that into account. How you're gonna do it, and so I figured 50, 52, and that way there's enough space to put in just about everything. So that's one chapter right there. But I may because what I may end up doing is like fill enough of chapter 1, um, and then if there's enough empty pages, I would just fill that with conceptual artwork of characters and what have you. Maybe some future teasing and whatnot.
that would be I just kind of like saying like this, things that may come, or
May not
things to
come.
come. Yeah.
Yeah, and then just mine just going off today. uh, like, think you may want to jump in, Lorenzo? I'm kind of drowning. And then but I wanted, but so the idea was to do it as a webcomic first, and then there's which I was also going to do a subscribe store for it, and if there was uh, enough of demand for it, I would do it in print, or if I have enough, or I make enough income for it, I can make a physical print of it. It's like, hey, this is like now that this thing has had some time, do y'all want a physical copy? Yes, okay. This is like I already have it set up. The thing is that I have this set up. It's gonna be in black and white with some kind of like monochromatic. Uh, Basically how mangas are done. Dang it.
Well, that's good because you can. I mean, I know sometimes they have print on demand services, but that probably wouldn't work for a comic. Um,
It does as far as I know, but it's just it's got to be oh, no worries, Lorenzo. Yeah, it's only 2 hours. It's an hour and a half. You're fine, dude. I was mostly joking. And then yeah, but I've seen some in print in the band. I think they did it with a uh, I know a couple of people who've done it with their comic for on Amazon Prime.
yeah, I think that's where most of the people who do that, because I know a few people who like this one person already wrote some kind of response to the what's going on in Ukraine or whatever, and it's like it's already and it had the same cover as something else, like, and apparently it's like a print on demand mill kind of thing.
Yeah.
So if they can do that,
Well, I mean, because I know there's supposed to be some kind of paper shortage going on, so I figured um, doing it as a webcomic first would probably it still gets out there, but at the same time, it avoids that particular issue of not being able to have it printed out or printed out on time.
yeah, and I don't know if it would take longer or not because of or may not take as much depending upon how much ink is used. But either way, it is. Um, I would definitely buy a physical copy.
Yeah, I
Probably
mean,
insist on
it.
it being signed. Uh,
Well, I mean, because I did a comic for CJ Maker, and which I just it took me 48 hours, less than 48 hours to actually put out a an initial rough of his comic, which is actually down 4 pages from the last time. Last time it was 28 pages. This year's it's actually 24.
I'm not really sure exactly what I like. If I doing a commission, I'm not quite sure what I would. Still not completely sure what I want yet, but I have a general idea.
Mm-hmm. Well, I
Uh,
mean, it's like I said, I genuinely try to be open to what everybody would like to do. Um, but oh, that
Sorry.
That wasn't me. Well, we're about to find out if YouTube really has that power again. No, we're good. All right, thanks.
Oh, wait a minute. That's where's the YouTube thing?
Yeah,
I wonder if it'll let me.
probably not.
This is the closest thing I can come to me and Kanta from McDonald's. You probably have to wait till you're off stream though to.
Yeah, you may want to wait till you're off screen to show me that. Yeah, because even McDonald's will come after me. Like, and you used to work for us too. Yeah, I know. And then yeah, no. Like I said, so this I did I have multiple stories actually. It's like, so the idea was to like do this one, complete the story arc for it, and then go to another one, and then from that one go to another story, and it's like I have several of them, and then let me see if I can pull that up, pull some of them up. Yeah, okay, because I moved everything here. Actually, you might like this one. Mm-mm-mm. I just need to fix that design a bit, and essentially it's kind of like a Shazam slash Green Lantern type deal. So they go into space. Well, Green Lantern, Shazam, uh, Darkhawk type deal. So
Um, I mean, she certainly looks very nice. But she's like
mm.
a guardian or something, or
Well, the idea is that they get like I guess like a space badge, and they essentially they become I guess cops. uh,
space cop.
Space cop. It's kind of like a Guardians of the Galaxy type deal.
I see.
Uh, I guess that would be a better word for it. So this is just me making up all the characters that go in it. So
Was that a cat boy? No,
hmm?
I said, was that a cat boy? No,
This I
no
no
no, it was.
this one. That's a she's supposed to be a queen. Then because the idea is that the badge kind of works like uh, kind of like the Green Lantern ring slash Thor's hammer. You know, you must be worthy. You must have, but instead of uh, whatever defines worthiness for Thor, this is more like on the idea of justice. So
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. It's
because worthiness is such a weird vague concept. Is like, how do you define worthy? You know. So
in
it's
the
like,
end, it's right, I guess, or
yeah.
in you know,
So I haven't started that one, but it's one of the ones I wanted to do.
it's like if the person ends up dying, then the ring or that case the badge or whatever will automatically find its way to the next person who
Yeah,
is
pretty much.
worthy, and
Yeah,
that's how they'll know that that other person has
yeah,
died. And that would be like a that would make for a really um, emotional scene where if that badge suddenly reappears back to a new owner or whatever, they'd be like, you know, like, no, I can't believe he died, or can't believe she died, or whatever.
yeah.
She
Well,
sacrificed.
because technically the first character that you saw, Alexis,
Hmm.
replaces the one that died before her, and well, before she got it. So essentially she's the new replacement.
Is
And
she? Are people on Earth aware of this, or
no, they have no idea this is going on. Well, not particularly because while there is superheroes and monsters and magic and stuff like that, they're not. Earth is not aware of everything. Contrary to popular belief, Earth is not the center of every universe. So so this one goes into a bit of a strange, kind of like Strange Things, Stranger Things. You
yeah,
know the show for Netflix.
they're coming out with a fourth season.
Yeah, I didn't even realize there was a third because I knew there were two.
I haven't seen the third season yet. I've been lazy, but I liked the first two. They were good.
Yeah, so this starts with a 5 page introduction to the two characters. Essentially, the idea is that a rogue government agency was creating their own super soldiers. I guess you may put it that way. But for whatever the process was flawed was when they first started it, so they could only create uh, character subjects from or clone or subjects from scratch. So they can make custom DNA, but everything had to start, you know. So they could create the clone, and the clone would take years to grow to the right age that they need them to be. When the story starts up again, they fix that problem, and now they're gonna make adult subject. Uh, you ever seen the old Judge Dredd movie
Um,
with Sylvester
I
Stallone?
I, I don't think so. Um,
Okay, because there's a story plot. There's a plot point in the Judge Dredd movie where they point out that they took all the DNA of all the best judges that they had on that at that time, and they made two clones. One was Judge Dredd, and one was Rico. And so it's kind of like that idea here. The idea was that they were trying to make spies that they could use, you know, for any and all uses. And uh, this is them escaping, was the whole place burning down and everything. So we find out that that they're escaping, that this other girl is escaping with the younger one, who essentially becomes the Superman of my universe. And
so is she what, like a cyborg or an
she's a
android?
metahuman, but
Med-
but she's yeah, but the idea is that they're all clones. They're all, you know, they're all cloned from DNA or made what was custom DNA. In her case, she's a slice of both human and alien DNA that they found, and that's why she essentially has she would have I guess post crisis Superman level of power. So she could lift the mountain. She's, you know, capable. She can even take on dark side if she wants to, I guess. Um, and then and it was a lot of the traditional Superman powers and whatnot have you.
but she wouldn't go to the dark side because the thing knows. But
Yeah,
so
yeah. But I think what I love most about this starting is that from page 6 and up, um, I kind of try to film, like, try to lay it out like I was laying out a movie, like an animated movie. So I'm just hoping that when I do put it out there, people uh, people like it.
Well, yeah, I think, I mean, but there's only so much of it you can put out before it becomes a, you obviously have to, try to sell some of these, I think.
Yeah, it is a
But
Star and Tarot one, Lorenzo. And yeah, and yeah, I'm just having fun because this is just more like an adventure, a mini adventure inside the main adventure. So just dealing with creatures from the ground and what have you.
you could put that at the end of the comic you're doing right now and be like, check out the preview for a new comic or whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
and
it's,
that's neat.
it's unfortunate that a lot of the stories I have in my head wouldn't be suitable for the Fembot wiki,
Yeah,
because even though they don't really feature anything that would
be
uh,
offensive.
be offensive, yeah, like, or well, yeah, they don't feature anything that would be, um, oh, excuse me, that they wouldn't, nothing is a,
Mm.
it's basically, and I came to realize this, but it was like my own version of Small Wonder, but like nothing like Duke's version. If you remember reading any of those,
Yeah, some of it. It's been a while.
yeah,
So
he
yeah,
writes so much. Like, I mean, it's not bad. It's just
there's
hard
a
to
lot
keep
of
up.
it.
And
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, because I even have I even have an actual fembot team. They're essentially like the metal man from DC. But the idea is that they're all robots. They just have no idea they're robots. So their entire life is fictional. Uh, and 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 so it's robots that think they're famous heroes, but they're, but really they're just being used for by a company to hawk products, I guess, or what have you. It, it um it was a Disney movie. It was called Bolt. I
oh,
don't know if you saw
yeah,
it.
I remember that one.
Yeah, but these are all robots, and their powers do actually work the way they're supposed to. It's just that their everything else about them is absolutely fake. So the idea was to poke fun at or yeah, poke satire at companies who uh, do fake things, and so so it's kind of a fun idea that I wanted to do, and just hopefully people like it when I get there for that one.
I like the well, like, my idea was basically
Hmm.
that this guy is sort of like a kind of a pencil pusher for this robotics company, and robots are around, but they're not. A lot of times they're built with something that makes them very easily noticeable as robots, but
Hmm.
um, this uh, this their main rival comes out with
Hmm.
the greatest robot yet, and you'll yeah, I can't talk. You'll be able to tell that she's your own daughter, whatever, and so the company that this guy works for, they pull they pull his name out of a hat and say, okay, well, we just bought this. You're going to take it home, and you're going to uh, see how she can deal with living life with your family, and you get to raise her for a few years, And at
Right.
first, the guy's like, "No, I don't want to do that. No, no, my wife will kill me. There's no way I'm doing that." And then, but in the end, he's kind of forced to take her home via work. And when she gets home, she's about, I guess, 12, I suppose, and
Nah.
she doesn't have any real sense of self or anything like that. But over the years, like say every summer she goes away to get, her, some body extensions or whatever as they keep studying her.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but she also can eat and she can form her own opinions and stuff. Um, but it kind of pisses off their other kids because they always have like a thing like every Wednesday is like a movie night, every Saturday is or a game night or something like that, every Saturday is um, go out to dinner night or something like that. And
Yeah.
then they start asking her for like which one she wants to do. And they start griping like, "Oh, no, she's just a robot. Why would you ask her?" and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, they sort of start standing up for her and, because they call her name's Megan, and they call her Megabyte at first to make fun of her, but
Nah.
eventually
It kind of sounds like a part of the plot stuff from AI.
there are parts of it, I guess. And
And then
then
because it feels like some bits for Bicentennial Man's. I mean, you put in inspiration, obviously, but the bits from Bicentennial Man, bits from AI, and just kind of general lifestyle stuff. Where people are not used to new people, and they're just like trying to poke it with a stick. What is this person? Who is this person? Why do they have pigtails? You
details are fun. But she goes to school, she's kind of shy, so she gets picked on a bit. But like I said, eventually her siblings kind of stick up for her, and she becomes they really become a family unit. And I think on her 17th birthday, she's since the company that built her comes out with a new model, so they don't have any need for her at the present time. So um, the guy jumps at the chance, like, can I take her home and can she live with us? And the guy's like, well, if you want, we really can't do much with tech support, but here's her manual and all that, and you have uh, access to whatever you need. And
know.
he says thank you, and he brings her out to dinner, and he's something like surprised, your adoption went through, quote unquote. And
Hmm.
she's like, okay, so I'm part of the family now. I can't believe it, and whatever. And then after she graduates, she goes to college where she meets a guy um, eventually, and then um, she's self-repairing a coolant line within her, and um, and the guy knocks at the door and tries to come in, and her like little off-campus apartment, and she forgot that she had given him a key, so she's like standing up against it, and um, when he just tries to get in, really, loses the grip of the. She loses her grip on the cooling line, and the corrosive material is spreading. So he actually comes in and holds them together, even though the cooling solution is corrosive to human skin, and calls up her dad and says, "What should I do?" And her dad just says, "Stay right there." And it becomes a part of knowing that this guy is someone to be trusted, and like even if she said that she didn't feel comfortable with him anymore, that he would still keep that secret and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that's basically, I mean, it's a really rough idea of the plot because I don't want to go too far into it on your own stream.
No worries. People, no, trust me. You should see me when I'm on Lorenzo stream. Sometimes when I get going, I get going, and so you can see me running away with the pot. It's like, it's like, so yeah,
But
you can ask Lorenzo. It's like, okay, take it, and Daniel's running away with the pot. Yeah, I'm doing it again.
but that's sort of like that's the thing is it doesn't have anything sexual in it. She has a when she gets into the family, her she has an older sister and a younger brother. I know her younger brother's name will be Jesse, but I don't know what her older sister is going to be yet.
No, that's fine. I mean, it's it's a story you're developing, and since you kind of pretty much talked through most of it, you pretty much have a clear idea where you want to go, and then which is more than I can say sometimes for myself. So, and then yeah, because like this character I have on the screen, this is pretty much my sorcerer supreme. He's basically a Belmont was the powers of a sorcerer supreme. Maybe a little bit more than that, I guess. Because the idea is that he essentially who fights all the more bigger threats, more I guess universal threats. You know, uh,
What did you call him for a Belmont?
Belmont. You never heard of Castlevania?
I've heard of it. I've never played it.
You seen the Netflix show?
Uh, no, I have not.
You should see it. Yeah, you should see it. It's pretty good. Sometimes some of it's gonna make you frown, um, but it's pretty good overall. Like the ending of the series is probably the only thing I think that's really gonna bug you the wrong way as far as storytelling is concerned. But overall, it's a good show. And then, but the idea essentially is that this is things that go bump in the night, the creatures, the terrible terrible demons, so on and so forth. You know, this is not a character you would introduce into something like Stranger Things, because he would literally destroy all the evil like in 5 minutes. Nobody dies. He's the one who's like, oh hey hi, poof, off he goes. Because the idea is essentially is that his weapon is one of the many weapons in this universe that are kind of on a high end. The idea is that I guess maybe I guess my equivalent of a like a holy relic of sorts. Even, and then so the idea is that it's literally the whip is literally called the Bane of Evil. And
That,
then
that interesting.
so the tip so the flail end of the whip is it basically is more or less a spike, but at the same time it will open up, and the idea is that it's carrying a teeny tiny piece of a divine sword, and just it'll blow up shit. Even but like anything else, and it has to meet certain conditions in order for it to blow shit up. So it's not something that's gonna kill everybody. It's like the whip does on some certain levels and things. So depending on how bad your life choices have been, I guess you may put it that way. If you're not a good person, the whip is can affect anything from sort of a penance there. I don't know if you've ever seen Ghost Rider.
Yes.
So it can affect something on that level of the penance steer, and so or it can just blow you up, and or it's just gonna send you into a bunch of pain, and you pass off from that, and then you wake up later. Again, it's the way the whip defines evil is it's its own thing, and so and the main reason for that is to avoid hurting innocents, innocent people. Because I've noticed a lot of people when they come up with new characters, they neglect to find a way to make sure that they're not hurting innocent bystanders in the process. Like and this one is actually my She-Hulk of the series of ideas. So
The I think you probably shouldn't show that to Jake from the
mm?
probably shouldn't show that to Jake from the board. He
Yeah.
really likes that guy. He likes a really muscular.
Oh, I have more of that. It's like it's just most of it I can't show it here.
But yeah, I'm trying to help him with his story as well, giving this way overpowered person an actual like redemption story or arc, or some kind of um, a way to get sympathy for his character. And in order,
It's usually hard to do that for overpowered characters because an
yeah,
overpowered character is an overpowered character. When I keep telling people, stop overpowering your freaking characters.
that's why I want to take it all away at first.
Yeah, I mean, because I mean, granted, I'm probably the last person to be telling people that, but like, because the idea of music in this current story is called Detective Muse Agency. The idea is that uh, muses are essentially the equivalent of angels, but the idea here is that there is kind of like a metaphysical aspect of the universe. Think of it like a sort of like a critical function inside a computer or computer software. So the thing is that for every type of emotion or thing that's out there, there's a muse for that, and for all the negative stuff, there's a deviant for that. And so in the case of Helene here, she um, she would be the metaphysical aspect of truth or the discovery of truth, because basically she would be a part. She would be if people believe in her or worship her, they would mostly be like scientists, uh, police detectives, or just people who search for the truth in general. You know, and then but essentially every muse is like on a Thor level. But the thing is that there if you see the bangles on the wrists and ankles, those are literally power restraints, because if they don't hold in all that power, they can destroy everything. So like I said, it's there are ways to make a character interesting without being overpowering to the 20th degree. They don't have to be that way. And I think that's what a lot of current writers are having problems with, especially in Hollywood stuff. Um, because I think that's it, especially with female characters, that I'm noticing Hollywood tends to just overcompensate for no reason. And
Yeah,
then
it's
hmm?
yeah, they're strong. They can do whatever they want, but I mean, you don't see them. But then again, I think they overdo that with a lot of superheroes in general.
Well, I guess because like Captain Marvel in Marvel in the MCU, it they just kind of made it way overpowered for no reason, because they're because the thing is in comics it's the other way around. If you put Hulk right next to her, Hulk is always going to overpower Captain Marvel no matter what. Not in the MCU, it's Captain Marvel over Hulk, which is like what? Because the whole point of the Hulk is that the angrier he gets, the stronger he gets. You know, so they literally nerf the Hulk this entire time. You know, it's like, why'd you guys do that? it's like writing choices that just you're just in your head. You're going, why did they do that?
They could
You
have
know
at
what I
least
mean?
equal, if nothing else.
Hmm?
They could have at least made it equal, if nothing else. I mean,
Yeah.
if you ignore the characters themselves, like what has happened in the past, if they ignore the long history of the comics
Mm.
and or the whole character creation that's already
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah. I think that's tends to be my thing with uh was a lot of the current comic stuff is that they'll take an established character and then just change stuff for no reason. The most notorious one I remember was Iceman. Iceman, who has been a ladies' man since his creation. Sonny's like, oh, by the way, I'm gay. But the problem was, yeah, I know. I mean, not that it hasn't happened. It's just that the way they did it was the absolute worst way possible. And then, because Jean Grey outs him out, I want to say outs him out was parentheses outs him out. The thing is that since Jean Grey is a telepath, basically everybody's like, oh, she put that in his head. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Whether that's the intention of the writer or not, people and on top of that, I mean, if you're gonna respect this person, why are you gonna out, let them do that themselves? You know? So they made Iceman gay, but the reason they did it was terrible. You know what I mean?
yeah, like it would have made sense for somebody to do a reveal on someone else, maybe.
Yeah. Or like I um I think like overall I actually I told this to Renzo. What would have been a better idea is that they because Iceman is such a ladies' man, he could have accidentally got a lady pregnant. She didn't tell him because he's a superhero mutant, whatever you want to, whatever the excuse you want to use, right? He has no idea this child exists, you know, and so this child comes and finds him, and she's like, "Hey, you're my dad," and So on top of finding out he's an absent father, the child also has powers, and then the child reveals that he, she, they are gay, right, or whatever. I mean, just to you want to introduce a new character for a concept that hasn't been in the comics, you know, and you're being respectful to characters while at the same time introducing new elements.
Yeah, I mean, you can also, even if they're, even if they are part of the lore already, and
Hmm.
you wanted to change it, at least make it make sense.
Yeah, makes sense. Like,
Because it's like, I say I'm pansexual, that's fine,
hmm
but you have a character that hasn't come out, but
and
looks,
and
looks like it would make sense if they would be, bisexual or one or the other or whatever, like gay or lesbian and stuff, then yeah, I mean, I can see that happening from with my little, um, like, because I don't read a lot of comics, but
hmm
I could see Captain Marvel end up being bisexual or gay or something like that, or
hmm
um,
Well, the because the and that's the thing is that a lot of the characters actually before 2000, I want to say pretty much all the Captain Marvel, all these other characters have all been straight characters. Literally none of these, I think, with the exception of North Star from Alpha Flight. Uh,
well, I mean, I know they weren't necessarily written that way, but I'm just saying
yeah,
I could.
yeah. It's just that like most of them have had boyfriend girlfriends, like relation sexual relations, I guess you might put it that way. And then especially like characters like Iceman who tend to be a ladies' man or I guess a charmer or something, whatever people want to call him. But
that's the other thing is it's like if you have a character that's supposed to be a ladies' man and then you put in a twist, you know, you want to be all M. Night Shyamalan or whatever.
yeah,
You put in a twist, like in reality, he's just doing it to, you know, overcome his, um, um, you know, real, you know, his insecurities because he's, um, what do you call it? Because he's just so,
hmm
um, he's afraid someone will find out, so he has to, you know, do this uh, ladies' man player imagery and you know try.
yeah, but it could have been done handled a whole lot better. I mean, there's just it's like yeah, you guys could have really done a whole lot better when they did it, and then and yeah, I mean, because there's no problem introducing new elements to characters. It's just introducing new elements to character and not properly explaining why XYZ has been like this for whatever reason. You know, you es- especially Jean Grey's like, oh, you're gay. You know, like wow, that was like the worst storytelling I've seen in a while. Just like as far as concepts go, there he is. Hey, Lorenzo.
It's like you're stuck in 2017.
I know. Again,
It's like these are things that like maybe Comics Gate or the
no,
Phantom Menace mentioned a few years ago.
well,
It's or not Phantom Menace, Fandom
well,
Menace, but
I was
this
using
is what they call themselves.
Iceman. I was using Iceman as an example.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
many of the
I've
things,
seen the panel.
yeah,
It's like what it is it's like one panel and suddenly the character is gay, whereas
yeah,
they could have gone into more detail and maybe used a different character that made a little more sense.
yeah. I
But I
mean
did know, but I did want to say,
mhm.
sorry for now dominating conversation
Ah, you're fine, man.
after not saying diddly squat till now. But
Oh no, you're good, man.
well, I did have a friend who I'd go over to his apartment and he'd have all these like adult magazines. I should, like
hmm
centerfolds all over the place. And then he ended up hooking up with a guy for a while. So I do
Well,
understand,
yeah,
the idea of overcompensating too, because there are some people who they act like they're the straightest person on earth and they're not.
yeah. I mean, there could have
And
been
so I can see both sides of the
the
argument.
argument. Yeah, I know. I mean, like I said, there's no problem making gay characters or even making a character gay. The problem was that I'm having as far as writing is concerned, concepting an idea like that is that they came with the approach all wrong and they used the wrong character for this, and then it's just like
Well, Jean Grey part complicates things
oh
too.
yeah, that's what I meant. That's the biggest issue is that the Jean Grey just oh you're gay what so that's
Because
what doesn't she have the power of mind control as well? yeah I mean
So
because
that's not so that actually whereas with night with what happened with what was it Night Star or what's
North
the name of
Star
the North Star, yeah.
yeah North
I
Star
heard that
is
the character had been around for like 3 years, but
oh
and
he's
there
been
wasn't much of a backstory, and
uh,
so
well
actually revealing that the character was gay actually added to gave that character depth.
yeah
So,
yeah so
but
and
on
I
the
think
other hand, there have been people like I think it was it Meredith Baxter? Was it? There's a woman who was on Family Ties, and it took her like till she was like I don't know, maybe like in her 60s or something for her to come out as lesbian. I think it was similar with
well it's the
George
thing
Takei, who played Sulu on Star Trek. I think it took him decades to come out of the closet.
Well,
I
even
know you're right about Meredith Baxter. I know. I don't know how
I
long
think I
until
think the most recent one was the actress who or that plays Elvira, Mistress of Darkness, and
Cassandra Peterson.
yeah, because she came out and then people were like, "What?" Like, yeah. Most of us are going, "Okay, cool." Everybody else like, like, "Okay, guys," but but like I said, the idea would have been is like if you don't think you can successfully convert a character story into something that's not gonna Meredith Baxter, Brittany. Hey Jeff. Um, if you can't accent story wise storytelling, if you can't really sit down and conceive a good idea on what on how to I guess have a character come out, I guess, then just make a new character. You
I
know?
don't. I think the problem might be the writers themselves. Might not. You might not. I don't think these comic books are really where these companies are making a ton of money, so they might not have the world's greatest writers. Some of the writers are really good, but Marvel and DC, one criticism I heard is that they don't always hire as good of people as they
Or
used
quality
to.
writers.
So I don't know.
I don't know.
But I'm curious what your panelists had to say, because. But it's your show. I'm sorry. I don't mean to direct things.
That's right.
No, I mean it's always about motivation. I'm one of the I consider myself where one of my strong suits is finding way it has to make sense for the character.
Yeah.
So if Jean Grey is going to read his mind or whatever and announce to the world, then they have to give it a reason. They can't just drop it off drop it on you like an A-bomb and be like, that's it, you're gay. And people are like, no way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why it got such a negative backlash for it was because the way it was presented. You know what? And then especially when you have Iceman going, "No, you're making me think I'm gay." Literally, like I was just like, yeah, that's gonna set off a whole ton of people in one go.
Well, it's to the point where there's this fan theory that, that was the joke I was going to make. It's like, yeah, people aren't born gay, Daniel. They're Jean Grey turns them gay. It's like that's actually what people are thinking now. That Jean Grey turned him gay. It's like that's. I don't think that's how that works. I think maybe somebody's gay and then they don't. They might not. They might be.
Yeah, it's like I said,
they might be so far in the closet that they themselves don't even realize that they're gay. I think that happens a lot.
It could have worked if he had like gone away for a few panels and then he was alone and thinking about it and kind of came to that realization. Like how could she see that far into my mind or something, or it's a I don't want to, or if he's trying to have like a mental conversation with himself about it.
Yeah,
because he has had those. I've had those feelings before, but I've never said them out loud. I always date women. Of course I'd always date women. No, wait, but I like whatever. But you can't just drop it and leave it.
Yeah, that was. I think that was ultimately the I think a lot of things that left a lot of people because some people and I hate to try to get political. Some people just do it for the brownie points. I'm like, no, don't do it for the brownie points. Do it because it works for the character. It suits the character, and it's you're developing the character in a positive manner. You know, uh, um, you know. So it's like if you can't find a conceivable way to make Iceman a gay character, then make a new character that Bobby can relate to or talk to or has interactions with that character, and you have a new gay character that will interact with the X-Men and Bobby Drake in general, the X-Men. Um, you know, you can make this character, a new mutant, or like I said earlier, like it's his kid, and he's been an absent father for God knows how long, and so now he's trying to make up, you know, 17 years of absentee father in like 5 hours or something, equivalent into the panels of comics,
Didn't they do something like that with I'm not Starfire? What is it? I'm not Starfire.
Uh,
And that received quite a bit of criticism as well. Starfire ends up finding out that she's got a daughter, and the daughter's
no,
kind of
no,
a little bit,
no, she's not.
overweight and kind of
No,
very
no,
gothic, more like Raven in a way.
no. Actually, the premise of the story is that she's the daughter of a Starfire, but she grew up, I guess, in kind of a celebrity superhero lifestyle because of Starfire, and but because I get and they try to excuse the fatness that as not all of the alien genes in Starfire's DNA made it into her, so she got fat because Starfire let her overindulge in eating.
Oh, so they didn't actually. So they actually had it that she was raised by Starfire, because that doesn't
Yeah,
really make
she was
sense
raised.
unless this is a parallel universe.
It's a parallel universe.
Okay.
It's a parallel universe.
Oh, well, then just about anything can happen in a parallel universe. I'm not sure what people are upset about, because if it's not even in the main continuity, and people are getting upset about that too.
Well, I think it's the way they treat Starfire as a character. So,
Okay.
So it's more what they do with Starfire than they do with the actual. It has more to do with Starfire than the actual character, because Starfire has had a kid before. I'm granted
really?
that kid has died. I think he died.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I don't
No,
really
it's
know
been,
much
it's
about
been forever.
comics myself.
I know at one
I
point.
enjoy watching people draw comic art and draw comics. I just I'm dyslexic
and then but yeah, it's just like I said, that's I think that's been the key thing for a lot of people, is that the writing is questionable, I guess, and sometimes downright what the hell, and then
I thought it was kind of funny. They created there was a comedy writer, and I think just to troll. I think it was just to troll Comicsgate. They decided to go and create a safe space and Snowflake character.
Oh yeah, man,
and nobody liked it. Nobody, even the people who are more into, say, social justice and stuff, they didn't like it either. I think it was just done. I think it might have been done just to troll people, because it was a comedy writer from one of the late night shows that did this.
Oh, because
I mean, maybe it was going to be a real character.
I guess it was going to be a real thing, because they were hyping it, but I think because like I remember that, because they had they had a character that was the internet, that somehow inhaled internet gas, and I want to say that.
Yeah, they were supposed to. Yeah, the two characters were supposed to be non-binary characters.
Yeah,
but they called them Safe Space and Snowflake, which seems like it would be offensive to just everybody.
Yeah, offensive to everybody.
I mean, having a non-binary character there, that would make sense that you'd have a non-binary superhero, because there are plenty of people who identify as non-binary.
Yeah.
In our society, so it would make sense that there'd be at least a couple who are superheroes, but calling them a Safe Space and Snowflake, that just seems wrong.
they're like, oh yeah, I think their logic was that they were trying to reclaim the words or whatever reason. But the thing is that if you're gonna make a character, don't make a character to spite somebody or spite a group of people. Make a character because you believe in the character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I didn't read that. Obviously didn't read that X-Men comic, but
Mm-hmm.
once they found that Iceman was gay, did they change how he acted in any sort?
Oh yeah.
Oh, now that's
Oh
stupid.
yeah.
Because
No,
that,
not only was he gay, he was super gay. I'm like,
oh God, no.
Yeah,
he's like, oh my
that's what I've
god,
heard is
that type
that
of thing.
he's
I'm
kind of
like,
stereotypically gay now, but he
yeah,
wasn't, ever
it
before.
was stereotyping so hard it wasn't funny. And
That's stupid. You don't change. If you come to terms with your sexuality, that's fine. But you're not going to change most of everything about you.
in, better yet, you're not going to change your entire personality and worldview in one go. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I was like, because like when I was in high school, for context, I've never I didn't meet I didn't know what a gay or I didn't know what a gay person was until high school. I didn't know what a transgender person was until like a couple years ago. Okay, so in the high school when I met my first gay person, he was actually our dungeon master for Dungeons and Dragons, and he had been dreading the whole telling the people and everything about it, and then and then 'cause I guess because he heard story and people were telling himself and this and that and what have you. None of it happened. He didn't get disowned. Nobody came at him with a pitchforks and fire and whatever else they're telling him, and nobody blew him off. Nobody stopped being friends with him. The worst he got was stupid questions from us. You know.
Well,
You know.
no, I just thought that was funny.
The word,
But
yeah,
I think-
like the worst. The stupid questions, like, did it hurt? You, stupid questions, like I said. That's the worst he got, and but the thing is that people were filling his head with the idea that he's like, oh, he's like a lot of people are Christian and this and that or whatever, and that's and so he was trying to keep his behavior as this big burly dude, and he's like, dude, you don't have, you don't act like that. You don't because he's bad at it. And if we tell him, like, just be yourself, dude. Nobody cares, Nobody cares, man. We're here in this room. We're geeks, nerds, and gamers, and we read comic books and what have you. We're the most socially acceptable group to bully in the history of bullying. You know.
Yeah, there are some nerds who get upset or get geeks or whatever who make a big deal about it, but it's it sounded like it wasn't the case in the situation with your friend.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm trying to remember what I was going to say.
Yeah, it's like I said, it was just so funny. Like the worst he got was a bunch of stupid questions. It's like, that's the other thing.
There are cases where like parents disown their kids and stuff. I think that still happens.
It still happens.
And I hear that's happening. I think that happens a lot to like trans, people too.
Yeah, but like the thing is that getting disowned can be for a number of things. You're not just gonna get disowned for being gay, lesbian, whatever. Okay.
Well, some people.
Some people will, yeah, but it's not to discount anybody. But the thing is that other people will get discounted for, oh, you're not gonna marry this dude here. You're not gonna marry this girl here.
You're saying there's other. There. I guess it depends on the family, like.
Yeah. So like I said, in the case of Bobby Drake, like I said, there could have been millions of ways to deal with that better than what they presented us with.
Yeah, because I think it really was just on like one page.
Yeah,
Where
it was like a one page review. Oh, you're gay. It's like what?
Because I saw somebody had a screenshot. It was just like a page or two, and it was like, yeah, and it was just
No, I
kind
saw
of.
the actual book. It does go on for a bit, but they pretty much kind of like made it sound like she was really doing something she shouldn't be doing, and that's why people saw
Well,
it.
it was that. What was it? This younger version of Jean Grey from this alternate version.
No, it's supposed to be a young Jean Grey way earlier in the timeline, and Beast brought them into the present to kind of change the thinking of the past characters, and then or the current X-Men. So by bringing their younger selves back to, I guess, dissuade them from being assholes to each other. I
Oh
forgot
boy.
I forgot the original concept for it, but that's essentially what they did, and it was during this time that she brainwashed she essentially brainwashed Warrington Angel or Archangel if for you guys remember him from, and essentially she brainwashed him into being fine with their situation, you know. The 1 minute he's a crying mess, you know. He's like, I want to go home. You know, just he's a mess. And then the next second, he's fine. He's awesome.
Yeah, so that does sound like the one of the worst character. Like to have that
To
to
do
have
that
this
to do
character
that with,
go through someone's mind, and I could see why fans are like, well, this Iceman wasn't gay before, and Jean Grey, and that's too bad because they said there are characters, I mean, there are real people who it takes them decades to realize that they're that they prefer the same sex, or that they're,
I know.
Like
I said,
or
it's just,
they're gay or they're bi or they're pan or whatever. It can take a long time for people to wrestle with it. Somebody could even like have like be attracted to the same sex and still not even like know that they realize that what that all means. Not put two and two together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just it was a lot of it was just basically it's like it's like the equivalent of taking a sledgehammer or to Bobby's character. It's like you guys could have done this way
well,
better.
yeah, it sounds like one of the worst things is that the way the character acts has changed. Whereas, like, if you like with say actor George Takei, like when he came out of the closet, it's like, oh, well, this makes sense,
Yeah,
the guy does, the guy. Okay,
yeah,
this all makes sense. It's like this guy does kind of act gay, but I never really put two and two together. But it's like, oh yeah, this kind of makes sense.
Yeah, and then but Bobby has Bobby
Not
just
that
like
all gay people act any particular way,
yeah, it's just like
I'm
I
just
said,
saying that with George Takei, the actor George Takei, which
yeah,
I don't think he came out like until what was it, maybe just a few years ago, or maybe a decade or so ago. I mean,
I don't
he was
know.
in all those, he's playing Sulu in all those Star Trek movies, and
yeah, I don't know. It's just because like again, like I said, it was just terrible writing.
Oh my god.
What? When? Where?
All right. George Takei is 84. He came out in 2005.
wow,
Not that too far back.
Yeah, was it? Yeah, considering that. Wow, so
yeah, it's just it's like
would have been like kind of, I'll just call it, say, senior when he came out, maybe.
Yeah,
an older.
Well,
gentleman.
I guess he made it to that age where he didn't give a crap, But the
Yeah, maybe I think maybe some of the other actors knew. I think William Shatner acted surprised, but he's kind of he kind of. I think Shatner is kind of doing his own thing, or like I don't know.
mm. And then yeah, I mean, because they're a way to introduce characters when I have you. It's like I mean, it's like 'cause I'm already doing that. I was already doing stuff like that anyway. This is like okay, like yeah, I can do this. It's like
Yeah,
you know what, I can make characters and do a whole lot better than Marvel and DC at this point.
yeah. I don't think it's even really all that useful to focus on what somebody else is doing. If you're
Yeah,
doing your own thing, well, I mean, what does it
I
matter what
was
Marvel and DC are doing with
right.
you
Well,
know
I
it's their
was
movies that people are watching more than their comics, and I don't know.
yeah, I know it's funny that Sonic is beating the crap out of Morbius in the box office. I'm like,
Oh well,
oh,
yeah. Now things are, but
yeah, it's good.
well,
It's
now they're introducing. I think probably is that Marvel?
yeah, it was a Marvel movie.
Yeah,
The funny thing is
MCU.
that the funny thing is that it beat the first Sonic movie beat Birds of Prey as in the box office, and then Sonic 2 now has beaten Morbius, which is a Marvel movie.
Well,
So it's beat
I think the thing is that Marvel's done so many movies, now that maybe they're starting to bring in some of these kind of. Well, Birds of Prey. I don't. Was that a pretty popular comic book series? I don't know much about it.
it was a popular comic book series that it featured a different set of characters that wasn't Harley. For whatever reason, they decided to attach the Birds of Prey thing to Harley, even though she's not a bird of prey.
So it sounds like maybe Marvel's starting. Maybe their movies are starting to catch up with like kind of the wacky writing you might see in some of their comics.
Mm.
Like it seemed like for the longest time the Marvel and DC would make movies that were better, or that fans enjoyed more than they like the comic.
Honestly, I think it's just because no one really knew who Morbius is. It's like Morbius is such uh, a D-list character that I was surprised when they announced the character. They were making a movie of this character. Why are you making a movie of this character?
Wonder if they're
Nobody.
just kind of running out of ideas, though. We're talking about these mega corporations that.
I don't know. No, because I think it's a Sony movie. So I think Sony.
Oh, that's interesting. So it's not Disney.
Yeah, it's still a Marvel movie, but it's made by Sony, and I think Sony just couldn't figure out what to do because the only thing they really had to use was Spider-Man or anything attached to Spider-Man, like the rights to Spider-Man and Spider-Man characters.
So they have the rights. Yeah, they have the rights to certain Marvel
entities,
but not others.
Yeah, which is why, which is
Okay.
so theoretically they could use any of the villains that showed up in the DC universe, the MCU. Theoretically,
The villains.
yeah, the villains like Mysterio.
So wait, they own the rights to the villains then?
They own the right. They own the rights to Spider-Man and the villains for yeah. I think so.
Oh, for the Spider-Man.
Yeah, regardless of because they were because Sony was working out a deal was Disney, so that they can put Spider-Man into the MCU, and I guess Morbius was one of those things was already that was like because a lot of the stuff is planned in advance. You're talking 3, 4, 5, 6 years, God knows where, and but the thing is, I don't know, I don't understand why they decided to go with Morbius. He's not a really big character, I guess you can put it that way. Like I said, he's
Who
like
are
more of a
who are the
D-list character.
bigger like Spider-Man villains? Because I don't know.
He doesn't have too many, I think. It's like Venom is his most popular. Hobgoblin, the Green Goblin.
So Spider-Man, his basic powers are like he's climbing buildings and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So does
Spider
he
Sense.
mainly like rescue people like from burning buildings, or what is he? What does
Well,
he do? 'Cause
that's the
I haven't
idea
paid
of
much attention to him since I was a kid.
well, Spider Man is essentially the street level hero. He's the everyday man character that was everyday struggles and what have you. Although they've been keeping that status quo forever, and they don't let the character grow. They even got rid of his marriage to MJ because they felt it was not keeping with the brand. And most of us are going, "What?" Um,
Huh? Yeah, well, yeah. So
yeah, it was kind of. So the idea is, like I said, Spider-Man is supposed to, I guess, kind of be our everyday man character. You know, the character you can
yeah.
associate with, and then you know that anybody could associate with him. You know, and then it's just that a lot of his villains aren't cosmic level threats or what have you. A lot of them are just street level villains. You know, even Venom and Carnage aren't that insane as far as what they can do. So
So it's not like with like say DC Comics and Batman villains, where like you got like some really messed up guys, like the Joker or like
well, at this point, the Joker's overused.
yeah, but I'm saying but there's like all sorts of these like the Penguin and or like the
You got
Riddler.
90 minutes.
You got all these different villains and
Yeah,
I mean, aren't they like all pretty dangerous, or a lot of them?
yeah, pretty much.
And
Most of Batman,
so you're talking about
most.
with Spider-Man, and again we're talking about that's Marvel, not DC, but
Mhm.
you're saying that his villain. So there are the villains like more
I
like
mean,
they'll rob somebody's wallet or something, or
they're still dangerous. I mean, there's still danger to the point where Spider-Man is required. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a need for Spider-Man if they weren't dangerous. But then I guess what I meant was that they're not like some kind of Galactus level threat where it requires a ton of people to help them fight them off. Yeah.
again with like I know a little more about DC. Like
Mhm.
Superman has like some like villains that are so powerful that like they're like space aliens, from
I guess
Kryptonians. So they don't. So Spider Man doesn't have anything like that.
no.
Like people that could
I
just
like the hardest thing
rule the world or something.
yeah. I mean, like he's actually tangled was Doctor Doom before, but it was like a one-off story. I think they even did another one where he had no choice but to save um, Doom's life because he knew if he didn't, that it would set off a giant, like essentially World War III if
Oh
Doom
wow.
died on American soil.
Yeah, that actually sounds like a good storyline.
Yeah,
Like because there's sometimes there's things that are just kind of morally, maybe not exactly morally ambiguous, but sometimes there are things that it's almost like a necessary evil.
yeah. But like I said, it's just storytelling wise, characters are not really brought up by or introduced or uh oh because I do have a transgender character that I was gonna introduce when I get there. Um, it was
Well,
this
that's for
story.
a different series of comics, right? I mean, you got like several different.
Yeah, I mean because this one's more dealing with reincarnation and what have you. So this is like I've been giving people like yeah you just got to look at the play of names and you might tell what's going on. And
Well, if it's reincarnation, that would kind of explain a transgenderness.
yeah, well for this story is it's reincarnation, but Yeah, because it's because like it's because let's see here. And pull from the files again.
You have a couple stories with reincarnation, right?
No, I
Or you got this? You got a story where there's reincarnation, and then you got where well,
Oh, and by the way, when George Takei had come out in 2005, he had been in a committed relationship with his partner for 18 years before that, and they
I
married years
see.
later.
yeah.
The thing is, I think what happened was like William Shatner. I think was like I think he was the guy who didn't seem to pick up on that, but like everybody else who actually, like the other cast members were pretty close with each other. I think, whereas I think Shatner saw Star Trek maybe as for the longest time as just kind of a job where he'd go to work, and even though he'd be on, I'm sure he was on set for hours a day. I don't
Yeah.
think he necessarily was as big of friends with the other cast members, or at least not George Takei.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, because like but
But,
other
but I think the other people knew that he was gay. Like I think Leonard Nimoy realized that, and
it's like, well, you don't need to tell
Michelle
everybody. I
Nichols.
mean, it's like you don't. It's like I don't understand why people have the feel the need to announce it to the world that they're this and that. I'm like, you don't need to tell everybody, man.
Well, I mean, I don't know why people need to tell everybody that they're straight either,
Yeah,
but people seem to.
yeah, I know.
I mean, like
Well,
kind of things
well, that's what I meant. That's what I meant
happen.
by is that either side, you don't have to announce that to the world. It's like that's on you. Um, but no, what I meant by reincarnation is like this character right here, Ali.
Yeah,
This is a character that was reincarnated. This is the reincarnation of Gilgamesh.
I have no idea who that is.
He's essentially the first. I guess you may want to say the first superhero of myth.
Oh,
Yeah.
So the king of was it
I like.
ancient Mesopotamia
Yeah, he was in
region?
Mesopotamia. So this character originates in an area where Persia used to
In
the Persian
Babylon.
Empire used to sit.
Um, Mesopotamia would be in Iraq. Um, the Persian Empire would be a bit further east than that.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a lot of overlap though? Because like
Well, because you need to define how big the empire was.
because like I think it was King Cyrus or Shah Cyrus
Hmm.
who had freed the Jewish people who were in captivity, and they
Yeah.
were and like Nebuchadnezzar was Babylonian,
Hmm.
I think, and then before that there was another culture I think
Well,
that had actually
it's
taken the Jewish people into captivity.
it stated he was in the he was born in the era of Mesopotamia, Mesopotamia era, but he was more in the area of Babylon.
Like my understanding is the current borders in the Middle East are kind of not so drawn up in such a way that it's not necessarily representative of the different ethnic groups.
No,
Hmm.
they're anywhere that was colonialized.
Yeah,
Really,
the same thing with like Africa, right? I mean,
Hmm.
like or even like with North America. Like I live in Michigan, and there's Ottawa or Ottawa people here, and then they've
Hmm.
got Ottawa, Canada, where
Yeah, but it's I guess because the thing is that I have been drawing female characters and writing stories for female characters forever. Since I was doing it for Metro Bay, I was making lesbian stories, and so I was like, okay, you just use what I know. But the thing is that not every character that gets reincarnated is going to be gender flipped. It's just that this happened to be one of those chances where um, the characters because the idea is that generally for a few characters that get reincarnated. There's an angel that or Muse that is essentially like that this human is my human. Not like a pet, but but like a love interest. Like, and and so the idea was that uh, when in the story whenever I get there, Gilga is like Giga and Mish, Mish, I guess, Mish, essentially has her own country out there, and people are like, yeah, that sounds like Gilgamesh, yeah.
Oh, Gilgamesh. Okay, that
Yeah,
makes
Gilgamesh.
that was Sumerian.
Yeah.
So that would
Yeah.
be Mesopotamian.
Yeah.
And then Daniel or Tech, he's separating for this reincarnated version. Was it Gil is the first name and Gamesh is the surname?
Gia. Well, yeah. I think I just removed the G, and that's in the middle of the name. So it's Gia and like Gia Mesh. So we're just taking out the G that's in the middle of the name. Gilgamesh. I think I said it right. I think I did it right. But the idea is, like I said, the whole point is reincarnation and what have you. So Sherry is another one of those characters. You just gotta figure out what the play on words mean, play on names.
Yeah, Mesopotamia basically consists of Iraq, Kuwait, wait a minute, I should actually click it so I can read it better. Let's see. I need that. Yeah. Okay. Some of Syria, some of Turkey, and a little like I think far western Iran, and that was at its what do you call it? And that was in its heyday, like to its largest extent.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
okay.
And I'm looking to double check to make sure I'm not, because they overlaid it with a current, like a map of the current day countries. So I'm just double checking. But yeah, that goes like east to the Zagros or Zagros Mountains, and it goes up into, I think that's Turkey. And then down to a little part of the Syria, but that's about it. Keeping in mind that the extent of the Persian Gulf was higher, so it went further inland into Iraq than it does today.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I'll have to look at a map to make double sure. But like I said, this is when I got there was that character. But it's like I said, everything is a play on words, and so and most of the reincarnations are characters that are in public domain. So it's like I don't think I can get in trouble, but.
But that's not your story with the trans character, right?
No. That's the space story. That's literally the character I
almost like a Green Lantern Corps, but legally distinct.
Yeah, the Alexis one. That's the one I showed earlier.
Yeah. Here, was it Space Sentinels? Was that the term you used?
No.
Space Cops.
Well, I just use Space Cops for right now until I can find a better name for the character.
I think Sentinels has been used as an acronym for something before.
Okay, so that's the character and so the idea is basically the badge kind of switches her body with a robotic body that she's able to like change This was an old design from her from the first time, but this is still the current design for her look. Um, and so that's the transgender character, and let's see here. Yeah, that's the transgender character, and this is the what she changes into now, what she changes into for the comic itself. So the idea, like I was telling Lorenzo, is like the idea for all these stories is to introduce characters as people, and because like I said, and I noticed was a lot of storytelling people, a lot of people trying to tell the stories that they tend to make the sexuality of characters the main focal point instead of making the character the focal point. And then so you really won't see me, beating everybody over the head with it, because because after the first story was heard, the second story was going to deal with school bullying, uh, which is something I'm experienced with because I've dealt with school bullies, since second grade, you know. And then so I figured, I can do something on that level. Was that idea? Because like high school had a lot of stuff going on. I think the biggest thing was again was like I said, school bullying. And if you're a nerd, a geek, or a gamer, or you like comics and what have you, and video games and Dungeons and Dragons, you're gonna get picked on. You know.
Well, we've kind of dealt with some bullying, even like on YouTube with some.
Yeah.
Don't want to go too much into detail, but
yeah. So like I said, it's me trying to make stories that I hope people will like, and see how that goes. And then, but we are actually running out of time. It's like we're about almost 3 minutes out. 4 minutes, yeah, 3 minutes out. So so I guess we're gonna kind of wrap it up here. Usually here at the end of the show, I should have told you this before we started streaming. Usually at the end of the show, we when we're closing out, we give out links or a website to check out for stuff that you've done, to promote yourself, Ali.
I have nothing to promote right now. If and when this gets started, like say the story I described gets written, I will come back and promote it and tell everybody all about it. Right now, I'm helping a friend with his story, and making sure that everything stays, on track when it comes to his world, because he's ready for 2023 and he's still using 2014 style stuff. So kind of.
Is this the same one was the overpowered character you're telling me about?
Oh no, that was someone else.
Okay.
I'm just advising on that right now. So I that's on forum, or at least on the wiki. So but yeah, until I have something to promote, I don't really have anything yet. But that's
no, that's fine. I should have told you that, but yeah, that's so everyone can find me here on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Patreon at the Tech Corner.
I do have that one story that I always refer people to read, but it's only on my Google Drive. So I'll find somewhere to put it so that people can
read it. Yeah.
To it. So yeah. But until then, yeah, then people can actually see something that shows them what my writing is like.
Yeah. No worries. Lorenzo?
Yeah, you can find me here on YouTube as well as Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter as Lorenzo Sleestek. I also use minds.com, but not very often.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think I've ever logged back into that. No, I probably should. Um, but all right, guys. Thank you for coming. Please check out Lorenzo's show tomorrow if he's feeling well. It will be 7 Texas time, 8 his time, which is Pacific time or Eastern time. I think
No. I'm 8 Eastern,
8
5,
Eastern. Okay.
5
See?
Pacific, and 7 Texas time.
Yeah. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Take
Bye.
care, everybody.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Yeah. Thanks.